Images was directed by Robert Altman, released in 1972, stars Susannah York in a role she described as one of her favorites she ever did, and is the subject of today's edition of Truly Underrated Gems. In a broad plot description, it is about a children's book author who begins having visual and auditory hallucinations at her home, as well as mysterious phone calls from a woman who is telling her about her husband's alleged infidelities. Concerned that she just needs to get away and finish a book she is writing, our main character and her husband go to their holiday home so she can focus on her work. But not only do the terrors she is seeing and hearing get worse, they lead to what sort of hidden secrets are in her past and if she can come to terms with them. If you want a story that is the personification of consternation, suspense, and anxiety, then look no further than this movie. Altman was well known for never making the same type of film twice, and to my knowledge, this is the only time he tackled the psychological horror genre. I can shorthand describe it as Hitchcockian with its vibe. Also getting vibes here of Brian De Palma's early works, such as the film Sisters, and more specifically some of the great work of Mario Bava films, such as the film The Girl Who Knew Too Much from 1963. Images is about the psychological unraveling of one person, and what we see is presented to us with some beautiful cinematography, or images, if you will. A really great looking house with a sort of contemporary European vibe going on here, but it is gothic in its presentation. There are moments many times throughout the story where our main woman narrates to us passages from her story, and it sets the mood well with not just where her mind is at, the future, if you know what you're listening to. None of the characters are fully sketched that much. The husband is your typical post-war spouse who is obsessed with hunting a bird for some reason. We also meet a neighbor of their holiday home who seems to have had an erotic history with our main character. This guy also has a young daughter who becomes very good friends with our main character as well. The two women are working on a jigsaw puzzle together throughout most of the story, and I can't forget a random girl will just show up in the room for no apparent reason who appears in this movie throughout. And we don't know who he is for a very long time. We eventually learn that he was an old relationship our main woman had, who was in an accident 3 years earlier. It comes to a point where the suspense grows so slightly that you become unsure if what you are seeing is real or something else. The way the film is photographed is just plain awesome, and the construction of the story allows for near perfect pacing. By the end of the story, you understand everyone's relationship to our main character, and by the end of the film, after someone has died, you will understand why all of it is happening and why it all happened. Our main character is no saint in this story. She has committed adultery in her relationships on at least 2 occasions that we know of, and seems to have a duplicitous personality. Every character in this movie is very cold from us. I think that's why some critics don't like it very much, but the thing is, with Images, it is a movie that is intentionally cold. Even with all of the narration taking place, we are still left not knowing things for a very long portion of the runtime, and that can be both a strength and a weakness depending on how you look at it. The movie may seem like it meanders from time to time, but every scene is important so you understand the dynamics that are all in place here. It is a slow burn type of movie a little bit, but it is also bloody, suspenseful, and has a few shocks in it that were fun to see. Images is a movie about behavior and not much about any insight. If we were given insight into anything except what is told to us in short snippets, then it would be a very boring picture and you would just be waiting for the inevitable. But since Altman holds so many cards close to his chest for so long, and only reveals them sort of when he feels like it makes for a very good thriller in my opinion. There are things in this movie where you will see something, but then find out later that you don't see what you think you are seeing at all. Now, this does happen a few times throughout the story, so some people will grow tired of knowing that what they are seeing is not real. But then the film decides to make us believe that before showing you something that seems unreal for like the 4th time, it turns out to be real after all. And the reveal mixed in with the great suspense music leave you wondering, was it a real person or an apparition? This is one of Altman's least celebrated works, and it's unfortunate because even though it doesn't have the weight of some of his great films like MASH, The Player, or Nashville, I think it ranks right up there with the film The Long Goodbye, which he directed the next year. Susannah York is incredible in this movie. She can have the most sincere, loving voice and demeanor to her in one scene, then be a malicious seductress in the next scene, and you're unsure which side of her is the true one until the very end. She's very erotic with her voice, but also innocent sounding. She lures you in with the story she's telling you and the action she's taking, but you're not sure where she's taking you to. It could be good, it could be bad. If you like Hitchcock films or early films from Brian De Palma or Mario Bava, then I highly recommend you see Images. This is the true definition of a hidden gem for me. A movie by one of the most celebrated directors of the 20th century that barely anyone talks about. It's a movie that will leave you unsettled, but not in a frightened way. More of a, I'm not sure what I just watched kind of way. So it will leave you thinking for sure. I rewatched it 2 weeks ago before doing this review, and it hasn't left my mind since. Those are the kind of movies that matter the most to me. The ones that stick with you while you're still asking questions. I give Images 3.5 stars out of 4. It's a movie more about mood and behavior more than insight and pathos, but it leaves your brain scratching and hopes you will understand what is really going on with it. Okay, so Images. What is everyone's thoughts on this? Please let me know. I had to take a week off for personal reasons, but I'm back and have a few new movies I need to do videos for. So look forward to those soon, please. Anyway, if you like this, please like and subscribe. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.